All right. Okay, so good morning. So the subject is advanced clinical chemistry and the subject code is, oh, 1 second, 20 MLB 308 and currently you're in fifth semester. So let us do a quick revision of what we studied. So totally we have two units. First unit is all about the heavy metals and the toxicity, and unit two is all about cardiac markers of various organ systems of the body. So, so first we discussed about the lethal or toxic effects of these heavy metals. Usually, heavy metals will they will interfere in the normal metabolic activity of the cells and resulting in cellular dysfunction, eventually cellular death, eventually the patient death. So this is how the toxic metals works. So there are many types of toxins, heavy metals. Few examples are this. Then we discussed about the complications of any pollution, not only heavy metals. So all this is due to biomedical waste and improper disposal of biomedical waste. We will get all these toxic pollutions. Then we discussed about the definition of toxic metals, then their classifications. Then we discussed about their biological effects, their target organs, few sources. All these things have been discussed in the last lecture. Then from yesterday onwards, we started studying individual heavy metals. Okay, so now I have given generalized points for any heavy metals. So every heavy metals can be studied with this 8 points, 8 to 9 points. Okay, so that include its introduction, its general properties, its source, the source of the heavy metal, and the mode of intake of the heavy metal, its pathophysiological effects of a heavy metal, how the body is metabolizing the heavy metal, and what are the toxic effects of the heavy metal, both the signs and symptoms in the patients, its lab diagnosis, its treatment, and its preventive measures. So we are going to study all these things. And yesterday we started with heavy metal, which is aluminum. So I will do a quick revision of aluminum, then we can move on to the next heavy metal. Okay, so yes, aluminum is one of the most commonly used metal in our daily utensils, especially our kitchen utensils are extensively made up of this aluminum, and the aluminum has its own harmful effects on the human biology. It will interfere with the neurological activities and it will cause some harmful effects. Okay, so we are really concerned about aluminum usage. Aluminum as such won't cause any problem to us. You know, even the people say aluminum is the safest metal. I really doubt that statement. Anyway, it is safest metal if it is in non-dissolved form. But if it become dissolved, if it become in dissolved form, then that will be a greater threat to the human body. And since in the kitchen utensils we are using many chemicals such as acetic acid from the vinegar or any oils or any, you know, ingredients, the vegetables have many enzymes, and those enzymes, some of those enzymes can able to dissolve the aluminum. Even micro quantities of aluminum is enough to cause severe consequences in the human biology. So yes, any heavy metal is dangerous. Okay, so can it cause cancer, sir? Yes, it will. There are reports stating that aluminum can cause cancer. In fact, all heavy metals can induce this cancer, students. The reason is this any heavy metal will interfere with the DNA replication, okay, DNA transcription translation pathways. So in translation and transcription pathways, there are many enzymes involvement, and these enzymes will get affected because of the heavy metal interference, resulting in uncontrolled translations, uncontrolled DNA replications that may trigger an uncontrolled cell divisions that may arise, you know, a new form of cells called cancer cells. Yes, they are really dangerous. We cannot. But sir, we are all using in our daily life. That's what I'm telling, right, Sumit? So, see, I'm telling again, aluminum in dissolved form is dangerous. I'm telling again. How aluminum must be dissolved? It should be soluble in water. Then only it will be problematic. So usually the chance of dissolving aluminum is very rare. Okay, if we need very acidic environment or high temperatures in order to dissolve the aluminum. But aluminum can also be dissolved with the help of certain chemicals. Okay, a mixture of chemicals can able to dissolve the aluminum, and those chemicals are passively, indirectly provided by the kitchen utensils, such as vinegar. Vinegar is acetic acid. So we cannot underestimate the consequences. Okay, first we should go with the cons first, right? Because ultimately these are causing effects to the human biology. So first we need to consider the lethal effects, then we can see the safer sides. So even though we are using regularly, but still aluminum is dangerous. Okay, it has a lethal effects on human body. So there are many reports stating the harmful effects of aluminum. That is why we are studying this aluminum. So even 1% danger is still a danger. Even one death is a death, right? So yes, we need to consider anything that is harmful to human biology. In that point view, so aluminum is dangerous. Okay. So yes, there are many reports, many published articles on aluminum toxicity. Okay, that is why it came up to our syllabus to study this one. Okay, so yes, so aluminum have major effects on human psychological effects. Okay, it can it can cause autism, it will cause a lack of attention. Many psychological problems can arise due to this aluminum, and also some reports stating that aluminum will be deposited in the vital organs such as liver, in the and in the kidneys, resulting in their dysfunction, resulting in their chronic failure. Okay, it's not a 1 day or 2 day procedure. A chronic exposure to aluminum has its own its own destruction effects on organs such as liver and kidney. And aluminum also interfere with the phosphate pathways, the magnesium and phosphate which are present in the bone. So aluminum will start depositing in the bone, and it will cause a bone fragility. The bone will become fragile, and there will be high chance of osteoporosis and bone related disorders in the patients who are affected with chronic exposure of this aluminum. Okay, so as I stated, we are going to generalize any metals into these 8 points. So let us see its introduction. So aluminum is a grayish green tablets, usually as I see, this is what I'm telling Sumit. So aluminum will be used in the dissolved form in agriculture. So we are purposefully dissolving the aluminum with phosphite, aluminum hypophosphate, and we are using this as a potent pesticide. Okay, so if we are consuming these products, the vegetables that has been exposed to this aluminum phosphide, there is a chance of getting aluminum toxicity to the exposed person or the person who have taken this as a diet. So this is how this aluminum can enter into human biology via the usage of pesticides. Aluminum in the pesticides. This is how the aluminum can enter into the human body. Yeah. So ingestion. So the fatal dose will be greater than 0.5 grams can kill us immediately. Even inhalation can kill us. Not only eating, even inhalation via air can cause this aluminum can toxicity. Yeah. So ingestion has slow release of aluminum, whereas inhalation has more dangerous. So breathing aluminum gas or aluminum dust have more lethal consequences compared to the eating aluminum. Okay, so the route of entry also plays a role at the level of severity in the patient who is exposed. So usually either inhalation or ingestion, it will enter into the body, it will get absorbed into the blood, it will get into the circulation, and it will cause damage to the following organs such as a neural system, kidney, liver, and even bones will get affected by this aluminum interference in the body. So this is all about it. And also, since it is entered into the circulation, it will interfere. Since it is entered in circulation and in the bone marrow, we know that bone marrow is the primary site of erythropoiesis. Blood is generated from the bone marrow. Now it will get interfered in the erythropoietic mechanism. So there will be abnormal red blood cell production, resulting in abnormal morphology of various red blood cells in the circulation. We can able to see acanthocytes, echinocytes, leptocytes, anisocytes, spike. So these are more pathological variations of red blood cells. Rather than having biconcave shape, it will have other forms because of toxicity by the heavy metals such as aluminum. So that is why blood smears will give a very vital data about any toxic exposure in the patient. Just to take a drop of blood, make a smear and observe, is there any red blood cells in the shape other than biconcave? If there is cells other than biconcave cells, like any other structures, triangle or whatever you feel uncomfortable, so those abnormal red blood cells indicates there is a toxin in the body. Yeah, very straightforward test actually. Now, in order to pinpoint the type of toxin, then we will go with the HPLC, all these other studies like spectroscopic studies and these flame photometric studies. We will go for detecting the pinpoint source of the type of toxin that has been exposed by the patient. So this is all about the thing. So these are the mild, moderate, and severe symptoms of aluminum toxicity. Now, listen, students, the signs and symptoms will be very similar to all types of metals. First, their mild symptoms will be dizziness, irritation, vomiting, and nausea sensation and headaches. And moderate will be some muscular twitches. There will be some problem with the neuromuscular activity. So the patient will exhibit certain momentary disorders. Then in severe cases, obviously there will be an arrest or complete stoppage of function of any vital organ in the body. Okay, that will be the severe effects, and that will be the complication that the patient will die due to any ischemia. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about the signs and symptoms of aluminum. It will cause GIT irritations, the central cardiovascular system problems, respiratory system problems, hepatic, liver, central nervous system, and rarely we can also see bleeding within the body. And complications include circulatory collapse, so cardiogenic shock, the heart will stop beating, pericarditis, heart will start, the heart membranes will get inflamed, congestive heart failure, the heart unable to pump the blood, acute massive GI bleeding, there will be severe bleeding within the intestine in the abdomen. You know why there is bleeding? The reason for this bleeding is because of abnormal red blood cells. These abnormal red blood cells will block the blood vessels, and blocked blood vessels will burst and they will result in bleeding. And it will also induce ARDS. ARDS, of course, called as acute respiratory distress syndrome, okay, which is a breathing complications, and patient eventually may say goodbye to us. So this is how the complications occur, and postmortem will obviously show the postmortem of the patient who has been exposed with this aluminum will start coughing out froth from their mouths because of its involvement in the lungs. So the surfactant in the lungs will get excreted in the form of foam, and that is one sign that the patient has been exposed to the lethal doses of toxic metal. It can be any metal, okay, and the biopsy of the respective organs will show a clear signs of the. Okay, usually we will go for biopsy for postmortem cases. Usually, in case of living patients, we will try to detect with non-invasive techniques, just by urine, blood, or simple approaches. Biochemical test, we will try to rule out the cause of toxicity. So yeah. So yes, the reasons for this toxicity among people in India is due to suicidal attempts, accidental ingestion of this thing, or children will mistakenly eat these tablets. Okay, these aluminum phosphate tablets. Usually, these tablets will be dissolved in in water or some buffers and used as a pesticides. So voluntarily and involuntarily, they may consume this, and they may that leads to their death. Okay, so yes. 1 second, there was some problem. Okay, so the test we can do here include gastric aspirate. So usually we will send a pipe into the stomach and we will take a lavage, okay, a gastric juice, and we will go for detection of the corresponding metal that we suspected. Okay, we will take a piece of filter paper, we will keep this gastric juice in the filter paper, we will filter it, then we will subject the we will add 0.1% normal, okay, then for normal, right, normality molarity. So normal silver nitrate solution is used for detection of this one. Okay, silver nitrate will react with this aluminum and results in a black color. So if the filter paper becomes black, that indicates presence of phosphine or aluminum in the body, toxication. So that's it. So this is all about the aluminum. And we do have a treatment for aluminum. Usually we will go with chelators or the chemicals that will neutralize the aluminum effects. Okay, the aluminum can be able to neutralize by using tablets such as deferroxamine mesylate, or deferroxamine DFO, or NKF KDOQI. Oh, what is it? Okay, so there are tongue twisting tablets that we can use to treat this aluminum toxicity. Okay, yeah, this is the role of a doctor. We just need to ensure whether we can able to detect this particular toxin in the lab or not. In the lab, we can able to detect aluminum by using 0.1 normal nitrate solution. First, we will take the gastric lavage. We will filter it in a filter paper. Then in this filter paper, we will add this silver nitrate solution. If the within 10 minutes, if the filter paper turns into black color, that indicates presence of aluminum in the patient sample. So positive can be given if the aluminum concentration is greater than 6 grams. So this is one problem. If the aluminum concentration is less than 6 grams, then we should opt for other type of highly sensitive test like a HPLC. Okay. If it is less than 6 grams, I suppose that patient can able to recover. Okay, even though he has mild symptoms can be through time they can be diminished. They will fade away. Okay, so in case of lethal consequences, the aluminum will be greater than 6 grams and it is a dangerous thing. So that is all about this chemical test for detection of aluminum. Okay, so yeah, so prevention is better than cure. So the prevention of this aluminum toxicity is we need to very important. I forgot this one. Aluminum is also used as a buffer in the filter of dialyzer. So dialyzer is a actually, sorry students, I got some internet problem. Okay, I got some internet issue and it's disconnected. 1 second. Let me. Okay, see if you hear any broken voice of me, kindly let me know so that I will check my internet connectivity. Okay, I will immediately connect to any second source. So this is all about aluminum. Can you able to hear me? Is everything fine so far about aluminum? Is there any doubts in aluminum, students? No, right? Can I proceed to the next metal? Yes, students, you should speak. No, sir. Okay, everyone trying to. Okay, clear, sir. Okay, so I can move on to the next metal. Then. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Sorry, sometimes these internet issues are going on. This is a problem with online. Yeah, online has its own merits and demerits. Anyway, so yeah, this is all about the aluminum, and these are the references that I took to prepare these notes. Okay, as I stated earlier, you can write whatever notes you feel comfortable. I'm not restricting or I'm not compelling you to study the material that I have provided to you. You have freedom to study whatever you want, but I need an appropriate answer to the question that I asked. And also be regular in your weekend works. Okay, submit your weekend works on time. I'm really I have so much discipline in this weekend works. I will check your activities. Okay, depending upon your activities, your marks, everything will be decided. Okay, so be punctual in your submission of weekend works. Anyway, so coming to the next thing. Okay, next metal. Don't think that I'm giving thank you for aluminum and for next one. So the next metal that we are going to study will be, I guess, antimony. Okay, so very good metal. So let us start with antimony. So am I audible? Is everything smooth? I was disconnected again, and anyway now I connected to my mobile. Okay, so there won't be issues. I'm going to the second metal. Let me keep it full screen. Wasting precious time. Okay, students. So going to the second metal, which is antimony. Just to give me confirmation, can you see? Can you hear me? Can you see my PPT? No issues, right? Is everything smooth? At least text me in the chat. Can I proceed with next metal, antimony? Can I? Can you able to hear me? Shall we proceed with the next metal? Why everyone silent? Yes. Yeah, I got answers. PPT is not visible. PPT is not visible. 1 second. Let me share the PPT again. PPT is not visible. Check now, students. I reshared the PPT. Can you see the PPT now? So for this next metal, I will give just introduction, and tomorrow in the next lecture we can go. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Now you can see the PPT. Thank you, Sheena. So yes. So this next metal is really interesting, which is antimony. So I will start the class. Okay. So this antimony will cause these problems. it will severely affect the eye. So these are the images of the patient who has been exposed with this antimony metal. So antimony is also called as TBM. I will come to that conclusion later. So antimony exposure will cause eye problems. Okay, eye related problems. And there is an interesting story about antimony. I will tell this story. So how many of you know, whenever we are telling Egypt, what we will get in the mind? We will get this mummies, right? This Egyptian pharaohs, those mummies, everything. So I want to show you the picture of a mummy, and there is some correlation with this antimony, this ice and Egyptian mummies. Okay, I will show you the picture of mummy now. Yeah, so this is our antimony. So this is one of the blackest metal we have. So antimony will be available in the nature in the form of stibnite. So that is why the atomic name has been adopted from stibnite, Sb. Okay, and the scientific name is antimony. Now I will show you the picture of mummy. Yeah, so this is a picture of a pharaoh who has died. I don't know the name, but this is a mummy, and in mummies we can say one very peculiar feature of any Egyptian faces. The feature is they have this beautiful eyeliners. So they are using this eyeliner as a beauty product. And our stibium is one of the blackest powder that is available easily. This metal is available very easily in the Africa, in this continent, okay, in this Egyptian area. So they are using this stibium as an excellent source of beautification for the eyes. Okay, so yes, so that's why stibium is extensively used as a cosmetic. And we have reports saying that many Egyptian kings are blind. Many Egyptian kings got one or other form of eye diseases. So the reason is obvious. We can understand what is the reason. The reason might be the usage of antimony. Antimony is a heavy metal, and heavy metal will interfere with the eyes. They are directly keeping on mucous membrane in the eyes. So just think what they are doing with their eyes regarding this beauty product. So they are using this beauty product for keeping eyeliners. Okay, and I want to show you this. This is a problem of 8,000 years ago. Egyptians have problem because they are unaware of stibium toxicity. So that is an acceptable error that they did, acceptable excuse. Since they don't know, they used this stibium as a cosmetic for eyes. Then I want to come to current 21st century. So yeah, now we are using kajal or surma or this coil. I don't know coil means. I think it's our Hindi or some Arabic term. So yeah, even today the eyeliners are using stibium. The industry is using stibium, and we need to really consider again the usage of this eyelashes. Okay, these eyeliners. So in Muslim tradition, they have this tradition of keeping surma. So yeah, all these products have this stibium. One way or other way, these are the byproducts of stibium, and they are using this stibium as a cultural tradition to beautify them. Okay, not only beautification, it also helps our eyes to protect from UV rays or bright sources. So, but we need to consider again. Okay, so we should use a stibium-free cosmetics. But there comes the problem, the economical problem, the financial burden on the people. Say, for example, I have a cheap stibium black product eyeliner, and I have a stibium-free eyeliner with 400 rupees. Stibium eyeliner is 10 rupees, stibium-free is 400. So people always go for cheap, right? We want cheap products, we want free products. So yeah, this is an unescapable problem that we have facing today with these eyeliners. And I really okay, beautification of adults is fine, but I really felt sad about this stibium usage in children. Yes, our children are adorable, and our intention is to protect our children from bad eyes, from the bad people. But unknowingly, we are exposing our children to an even more deadliest component, which is TBM. So we need to reconsider about the usage of this Kartika or this, uh, this Kajal or Surma or this black product keeping under eyes. So even though it looks like a funny meme, so but the effects are serious. So stadium usage can cause blindness. So there are numerous reports, scientific reports stating, giving conclusions on TBM toxicity. So this TBM or antimony is a toxic heavy metal, and it will cause blindness. So I really want to convey this message to any one of you who are using these eyeliners. Okay, think twice before you are using eyeliners. Kindly check the contents that present in the eyeliner. But we cannot really trust the labels also, because the industry, the big players, they will hide it. So it's real better, rather than using such things, better, don't go with these harmful traditional approaches or these activities. Okay, so yes, kajal has its own effects. This is TBM usage causing the blindness. So yeah, so eye cosmetics are hidden threats of lead poisoning and the TBM. So there are many disadvantages of using this black colored TBM products. Okay, yeah. So usually, then why do we use stevia? What is the significance? What is the industrial application of stevia? So one is